Hello, my love, and welcome back to the Energy Expansion Podcast. This episode is going to be fun. It's going to be quite different than any other episode that we've ever had before. And what I mean by that is I'm going to be taking you on a journey. And what this journey is going to look like, how long it's going to be, and where we're going to end up is yet to be determined. I think there's been a handful of episodes in the past where I'm like, yeah, we don't really have any notes. I have an idea of what I want to say and yada, yada, yada. And it always turns out really good. And that is similar to the essence of today. However, not only do I not have any notes written anywhere, but I actually don't know exactly what we're going to talk about. And I almost let that stop me from recording an episode today. I was thinking, you know what? If I'm being completely honest, I'm a little tired. And the kind of tired, the flavor of tired is what I like to call blissfully exhausted. And for my human design, I feel like I mention it every couple episodes because it's such a massive part of my life. I come back to it again and again. I am a 1-3 sacral manifesting generator. And so me being blissfully exhausted, me being this unique flavor of tired, I'm like giggling, makes me really happy because what has me feeling so tired is me squeezing out, wringing out so much of what I have to give and what it is that I'm here to share in this lifetime. And so all of that being said, I almost didn't record this episode because I thought to myself, I don't actually have anything to say. And I know myself well enough that when I hear that, if I listen to it, then I end up being a little bit of a recluse and I don't have anything to say becomes my story, not just for one podcast episode, but for a majority of this week and then maybe in next week. And then sometimes there have been seasons where a whole month goes by and I'm like, I didn't really say anything that I wanted to. And I think that there is discernment that we get to weave in here when God, universe, spirit is like, woman, sit down. I don't want you to say anything because I have things to say to you, right? And I want you to hear me more than I want you to hear the sound, the vibration of your own voice. And I don't actually feel like that's what's happening right now. I, on the flip side of that, know that if I listen to the voice that says, I don't have anything to say, or it's not that important, or does anyone even care? I think about these things sometimes. Those are thoughts that cross my mind. What I know is that if I sit down, if I hold myself to the fire, if I tap in, tune in, and open up my mouth and start talking, some really good stuff comes out. And I only know this after a decade of practicing this. I've created a line of work that requires that I talk a lot, and that works really, really well for me. And so getting back to the reality of what's true for me in the moment, feeling blissfully exhausted. There are various reasons why I'm feeling blissfully exhausted. Right now, we are more than halfway through January of 2026. And I do this thing intentionally. This is very intentional, where I know myself well, I know my energy well, and I have a tendency to front load, pack in more at the start of a journey. Now, this applies to pretty much every area of my life. I do this on a daily basis. I front load my days so that the majority of things that I do happen in the first couple of hours. I do this the way that I set up my weeks. My Monday, Tuesdays are typically more jam-packed with, when I say jam-packed, I mean like jam-packed with the most incredible things, serving the most incredible people, showing up for my clients. Whenever I do our Energy Expansion Academy fulfillment calls, I do them on Mondays and then also midday Wednesdays. And even a lot of things that I'm not even technically in charge of scheduling, like if I'm meant to attend things like right now, my QRE, which is the Quantum Ripple Effect Master Certification I'm in, we meet every Tuesday morning. And so it works out really well. But my Mondays, Tuesdays, and even Wednesdays are typically a lot more stacked than my Thursday, Fridays. I like to have a more spacious end of the week. So not only do I do this every day, but this is how my weeks are set up. And this is also typically how I like to set up the year. I like to intentionally schedule things in the month of January that support me in creating the kind of momentum that I like to feel. And I know this about myself, and I'm not sharing this with you because I think that you should do this. I actually don't think that you should do this. If I was gonna should anything at you right now, what I think you should do, if you don't already, is to get really deeply attuned with your own energetic rhythms. This is something that I teach in a lot of my programs and will bring up even in the one-on-one spaces, like with my one-to-one clients who maybe aren't in a group coaching program. But really learning your own energetic rhythms. I like to refer to this as being able to quickly and easily identify your energy peaks and valleys. Your energy peaks are the moments throughout the day, the week, even the year. I really actually use this for daily and weekly planning as you're setting up your days to make sure that they're optimized for what works best for you, not what someone else says you should do or some time management book or podcast. Like, this is really for you. Your energy peaks are the times of the day and the times of the week when you find that you naturally feel most energized, most excited, most lit up, the most focused. These are the moments throughout the day where you could easily do a task in, for me, I'll use me for example. I could do a task in 15 to 20 minutes between 8 and 9 a.m. that if I try to push that off until 4 or 5 p.m., that same task will take me 3 to 4 times longer because I don't have the mental bandwidth at that point. And I absolutely feel like my journey as a mom plays a role in this. Like, I really not only need to be mindful of my own energy peaks and valleys, but like when I actually have the time to do the things. So I really like to look at this on a daily and weekly basis. And then as I say that out loud, I'm like, okay, we really have to talk about the feminine energy cycle. And so if you don't already know this, and geez, one of our really early on episodes was all about this, and it might be time for us to re-record an episode about this actually, now that I'm saying it. But one thing I need you to know is that the way that the male energy cycle is designed is that their energy cycle resets every 24 hours. Women, our energy cycles reset every 28 days. Isn't that crazy? Such a night and day difference. And so I like to have an idea of each day, where is my energy? When can I be doing the things that are going to move the needle forward in my business and in the areas of life that matter most to me? But if I'm being completely honest, I know really well that how I'm feeling today on this Monday, I happen to be recording this on a Monday, I'm at like peak ovulation. I'm on day 14 of my cycle. I'm going to feel very different this time next Monday and the Monday after that. And so this doesn't have to be overly complicated, but this is one of those things I really truly believe. I don't know if this is like a proverb or some philosophy. Maybe it's from the Bible. Maybe it was from some old man that says, know thyself and prosper, right? The better you know yourself, the better your life is going to be. So all of that to be said, I prefer to front load all of my stuff. I am a morning person. I am not a night owl at all. I don't do my best thinking. I'm not creative in the evening. It's like the wee hours of the morning. So the way that plays into the conversation, I think I said I was blissfully exhausted. We already covered that, but it's because we are just a couple of weeks into January and I have already traveled a lot between planes, trains, cars, all the things. Really, I've just been on planes and inside of cars, but probably tens of thousands of miles. So in case you missed it, the very first Monday, which was so fun and so wildly expansive, the very first Monday of January, first thing in the morning. So I love the mornings. I love the beginning of the week, talking about front loading these things and building momentum. This was so cool. I found myself before the crack of dawn at the airport on the first Monday of the year, getting ready to hop on a plane to head to Denver for a work event. And I use the word work. I want to use that word loosely and in air quotations because this was the most life-giving way I could spend my first few days, first full week of January, working alongside what I like to call our dream team. A very dear friend of mine, Jolie Dawn, has her own company, her own brand. I have my DKC, Dani, Kenney Coaching, and Jolie has her brand, PQ, which is Prosperity Queendom, and we have a program within Prosperity Queendom called Creatrix Academy. This is something that I had gone through many, many, many years ago. Jolie and I were actually friends well before we were ever coaches, which means we've been friends a long time. I've actually known Jolie longer than I've known my husband, which is a really long time. And so as her business grew, she was wanting to bring in a very select few, there's 2 of us, support coaches. And, I feel like I can claim this powerfully, but world-class coaches for her world-class clients. And so I get to work alongside Jolie and another dear friend of hers and a fellow world-class coach, another woman who's been in the industry, I think, for close to a decade, if not over a decade, like Jolie and myself, named Nina. And so the 3 of us, the dynamic is just unbelievable. One of the things that I knew that I wanted to talk about with you today were things that I really love and things that I'm loving in this season of life, this season of business, all the things. One of the things that I love more than anything is I really love having my own brand. Dani, Kenney Coaching has single-handedly brought in just shy of $2 million since the genesis of our company. Last year, which we just closed out a few weeks ago, was our 6th consecutive 6-figure year. And our brand as a standalone brand is generating 6 figures. And then everything else on top of that, any freelance work I do, AKA being a coach within another brand, or I do a ton of affiliate marketing for different programs and services and products. That's really all just the cherry on top. And so I really love having my own solid brand, my own presence, my own body of work, clients who come in through the DKC brand who I feel so incredibly connected to, and the way that I'm wired, which I want to bring this back to my human design, as well as my Enneagram. I'm an Enneagram 2, which means I am the helper, is what that's called. I love having my own brand, but I'm also very wired to thrive on a team. I'm wired to thrive in a supporting role. And so I love the level of, or I should say the dynamic that I've created in my career where I have things that are very much my own, that I've created from scratch, that are oozing my energy, my vibrance, my magnetism. And then I also get to come alongside other women, other brands, other services, other programs, other products, other certifications that I'm absolutely obsessed with, and I get to support them. And so there's really truly this sweet spot that I've found in the realm of career. And as I say that out loud, I'm getting a little teary-eyed because I also feel like there's a sweet spot that I found in the dynamic within my home. The 5 of us in my home, myself, my husband, and our 3 kids. I've got currently a 12-year-old, a 10-year-old, and a 3.5-year-old. My 3.5-year-old, he's not 3.5, he'll be 4 in less than 2 months. That's so crazy. He'll be like 4 in 40 days. There's this sweet spot that I found with our dynamic. And then, moving up from there, this really sweet spot that I've been able to create collectively with my husband, and this sweet spot that I've been able to create within my health. And so it's really been this journey of finding out, of identifying what works best for me, what I like, what I want, and then collaborating with the people in my life, whether it is a longtime bestie of mine and now we get to collaborate on business things, or it's my almost 4-year-old son, right? So this applies to all the people, all the relationships, but there's right now one of the things that I'm loving most in this season of life is this sweetness. It feels like this happy medium. All right, love, real quick pause because I have to tell you about something that is truly life-changing. If you've been in my world for any amount of time, then there is a 99.9% chance that you have heard me talk about Energy Expansion Academy, which is my signature group coaching program where I teach the exact tools, rituals, mindset shifts that helped me create a life that goes beyond my wildest dreams and has transformed the lives of hundreds of women that I've had the honor of serving. And for the first time ever, it is now available as a self-paced experience. That means you get to move through this powerful transformation on your own terms and your own timing and in full alignment with your life. This is for the woman who's ready to shift her energy, elevate her mindset, and finally become the most confident, fulfilled, and successful version of herself. Without the hustle, without the overwhelm, and without the second guessing. If you've been feeling the nudge to join us inside of EEA, then this, my love, is your sign. You'll find the link in the show notes or just DM me EEA on Instagram and I'll personally send it your way. Now, let's get back to the episode that you came for. It feels like this nice flow of things working. And now it's not all rainbows and butterflies. And I don't need it to be rainbows and butterflies. I don't need it to be perfect. I need it to feel good. I need it to feel true. I need it to feel aligned. And when it doesn't feel like those things, I have gone on a journey of equipping myself with tools to lovingly address that. And lovingly address it might be having a conversation with myself around expectations, around what role I'm playing in my own suffering. It might also look like having a hard or an uncomfortable conversation with someone in my life, personally, professionally, a business partner, my partner in life, my husband, and or my kids, a friend, so on and so forth. Okay, pausing here. We are going, remember I said at the very beginning, I said we're going to have fun. We're going to go on a journey. I don't know where we're going. I don't know what stops we're going to take along the way, and I don't know where we're going to end up. And so we're like moving down this path, taking these side quests that feel helpful and supportive. And my goal is to really bring you into my mind and my heart, how I look at things, how I choose to do things, because I feel like that is what has allowed me to create this really, truly extraordinary life experience. And I want you to have your own version, your own flavor of that. I do not want you to think that I'm trying to get you to copy and paste what I have. I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to want to do that. I want to empower you to create your own flavor of sweetness, your own flavor of alignment, your own flavor of truth, your own flavor of what feels good and right for you. So coming back to kicked off the year in Denver. So good. Came home, served some clients, got the kids to school on time every day. I was just talking about this with someone. I have 3 kids now. The younger one doesn't count as much around school because preschool is really lax with like start time and pickup times. But my older girls, I have a 7th grader and a 4th grader. There is not a single day in their academic history have they ever been late for school. They've never been late, and I don't anticipate that they will ever be late. I told that to a friend recently who doesn't have kids, and she was like, "Excuse me, what?" And I was like, "Yeah, why? Why would my kids be late for school?" No judgment if you're listening and you're a mom and your kids are late for school ever, all the time, maybe once or twice. There's no judgment at all, but I get my kids to school. I don't like being late. I'm not late for anything. Now, I am typically right on time. I will walk into the room the exact minute I'm supposed to be there, and I like that for me. I like that level of promptness. I think there's a different word, but we'll call it that. So I was home for a couple of days, got my kids to school, got them picked up, got them to gymnastics, got them to Bible study, got them to all the things that they like to do, and also hosted my very first of 3. We've now done 2, but hosted my first of 3 NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, understanding the language of the mind, NLP Breakthrough Days, not sessions, days full days. So one of them was at my house last week, and it was so good, so fun, so expansive. It was actually a session that I was getting to do with a client as we were closing out an entire year of working together. Such a fun way to graduate out one of our one-on-one VIP clients. So I did that on Wednesday. On Thursday, once the kids got out of school, we hopped in the car and we drove up to the Bay Area. So if you don't know, I live in San Diego. I live in Southern California. And when I say the Bay Area, I'm referring to Northern California. I grew up in that area in Northern California. And so the kids and I drove up there, one, to see my mom and see some family there. But really for me, it was truly a work trip. So going back to the very beginning of today's podcast episode, when I was like, I don't know where we're going. I don't know how long we're going to be together. I don't know where we're going to end up or what that journey is going to look like. It's because I'm tired. I think I already said it. I'm blissfully exhausted. And I did a little bit of math. This is what I have figured out. Right before we hopped on here, I was like, okay, if I drove from Lakeside, California to Hayward, then Hayward to Brentwood, then Brentwood to Hayward, then Hayward to Turlock, then Turlock to Hayward, then Hayward to Lakeside. How many miles is that? It is approximately 1,128 miles. So let's just call it over 1,000 miles, well over 1,000 miles. And I said, okay, if I left on Thursday at 4:30 p.m. and I got home on Sunday at 2, how many hours was I gone? I was gone for less than 70 hours. It was 69 hours and 36 minutes. So let's just round up. Me and my kids, actually, my kids did not do most of the driving. I did all the driving. They were in the car for getting from San Diego up north and then back here on Sunday, but all of the other in-between driving, which was a lot, I did all of that by myself. So we did over 1,000 miles of driving, of road tripping in just a span of 70 hours. And I was the only one who spent 19 hours in the car. That's crazy. And at the time of this recording, that trip ended about 24 hours ago. So, oh my gosh, I'm tired. I'm all over the place today because I was literally all over the place the last few days. And then I've been all over the place this whole year, and I'm so here for it. But just to give you an idea of how sort of loopy I am, this morning I wanted to grab my Bluetooth headphones. I feel like I should retire the Bluetooth headphones, like the radiation or the EMF or whatever it is. I'm learning so many things and I'm doing my best to become the healthiest version of me. And there's also some things where I'm like, ignorance is bliss, right? I'm pulling my sweatshirt up over my face, the wool over my eyes. Like, can there be just some things that I can pretend not to know about? Can someone DM me on Instagram and tell me if it's okay if I still use Bluetooth headphones, or am I like killing myself? I think we're all killing ourselves. Anyway, this morning I went to grab my headphones because I wanted to send some voice notes and listen to some voice notes. So I go to open up the little electronic pouch that they're in, the keeper of the earbuds and what keeps them charged. And I open it up and I realized there was only one earbud in there. One was missing. And I was like, oh no, like where on earth is this earbud? I need to find this. Maybe it's somewhere in my bed. I was doing a meditation next to my son this morning, or maybe it's on my nightstand, or maybe it's in the bathroom. Maybe it fell. Maybe it was in my pocket, in my sweats, and I like put them in the laundry. So I tear up my room and my bathroom looking for it. And I'm standing there. I end up right in front of the bathroom mirror looking at myself like, where is my earbud? Can you guess where the earbud was? If you guessed that it was in my ear, then you are correct, my friend. That was a new level of silliness. That's one of those things where like you're scouring the house for your phone and it's in your hand. That's only happened to me once or twice. Has that ever happened to you? Or you're like looking for your keys and they're in your pocket or they're in your hand. I had never experienced the earbud thing. I hope I never experience that again. So that's the level of silliness that I'm bringing, a little bit of the all over the placeness. But I remember before I told you the story about my earbuds, where I was, and that was, I got home yesterday. I was very tired. And on the way home, I called my husband and I said, we are going to be home at, I think it was like between 2:30 and 3 is what my GPS said. You will be home, right? Like, please be home when I get there, because there's no way. I didn't say this, but this was the energy of my words. I was like, you'll be home. Please, please, please be home. He said, yes, I'll be here. There's no way that I'm unpacking this entire car, all of the things for myself, all of the things for the kids, all of our kitchen stuff. Because yes, we travel with all kinds of kitchen things, cold things, vitamins, powders, of all the supplements, and work things as well. This was very much a work trip. And so as soon as I pull in, my amazing husband greets us at the door. He starts unloading everything. He is prepping dinner. He's marinating steak. Like, the laundry is done. It was so nice. So I got home yesterday and felt very, very taken care of. And I'm so grateful for that. That was definitely a necessity, being able to just like be supported in that way. So that is the root of my blissfully exhaustedness. But I didn't really give you the ins and outs of what happened during those 70 hours I was away. So like I said, for the month of January, I have 3 full day NLP Breakthrough Days scheduled. So at this point now, 2 of those 3 are done. And I feel like I'm still on cloud 9. And I have 1 more at the end of this week, which I'm so excited about. And these NLP Breakthrough Days are going to be a huge part of what I'm offering this year. If you're curious about what an NLP Breakthrough Day is, I want to encourage you to scroll back through, and I will put it in the show notes. I don't know which one it is off the top of my head. Let me find out for you, actually. I just have my podcasting software up. If you remember, in December, I turned a paid coaching course called the 21-Day Expansion Accelerator. I turned that into a free offering, and I shared that on the podcast. Those 21 days of life-changing teaching tools and audios are available on the podcast. But right before that, it's episode 45. It's called The Breakthrough Day That Changed My Life, Releasing Shame and Unlocking True Freedom. So I have hosted full day experiences. I've even hosted multi-day experiences for groups and one-on-one. And I really stand by every experience that I have ever hosted and facilitated. I feel like they are incredibly powerful. And also back in November, when I was at the 5-day in-person immersion for our master practitioner certification, we learned all kinds of incredible things. And one of them was how to facilitate, actually lead a true NLP. I think I said it before, but neuro-linguistic programming. There's a formula. There's like a way, a flow. I say formula, and I kind of want to retract that statement, but it's not formulaic to where it's cookie cutter. Like, at this point now, I have led between the 2 that I led last week. Again, I have 1 more on the docket, but I can't claim that yet because we're not on the other side of it. But the 2 that I did last week and the 1 that I did in November at the training, I was able to facilitate, lead one of those breakthrough days, and then also be on the receiving end of it. Oh my goodness, that really truly solidified the magic of the breakthrough experience, the breakthrough day. I've now facilitated 3 of these, and they are so totally different. So we're following this process. You're following a certain way that things are designed to be done. And also, because you're working with different people, with different experiences, with completely different worldviews, how the day unfolds and where you end is so unique to the individual that you're working with. And also, there is a very big component of intuition. And once you get through some of the big rocks of like, these are the things that we absolutely do in an NLP breakthrough day, there's also a lot of room for creativity and weaving in other types of healing modalities. And so one of the reasons why I was up in the Bay Area is because one of the women inside of Energy Expansion Academy lives in the Bay Area and she was craving to have this experience. So she just recently renewed. She said yes to 9 months inside of Energy Expansion Academy. And on top of that, added on a full NLP Breakthrough Day. So being able to be with her, this woman who I've had the privilege of meeting and hugging a few times in the past, but never one-on-one. I'm like thinking about this. We've always been in group settings. We have kind of mutual friends and we're both in the healing space. And we've spent a lot of time on Zoom virtually over the last several years together in groups and in one-on-one Zoom sessions. But this really took on a completely different essence, being able to be with her for an entire day in her beautiful home, leading her through what really did end up being a life-changing experience. So that's what I did on Friday. And then the very next day, I drove out to a sweet little town called Turlock. Shout out to all of the women in Turlock, because recently my podcasting software let me know that you are our top city when it comes to listeners, downloads, the amount of times listened. This is insane. This is so exciting because we are in almost 500 different cities. We are officially in over 40 different countries, and Turlock is our number one city when it comes to listeners and downloads. So that was really exciting. So much so that I purchased several dozens of roses because I wanted to do something really special for the women of Turlock and their love and support of the Energy Expansion podcast. So I hope that everyone I got to see there in Turlock got their roses, but I was able to spend several hours with a group of my favorite women with the intention of having everybody walk away with their vision board for 2026. But it's always so much more than that. Getting to have these powerful conversations around conscious reality creation and the quantum field and all things energetics, the energy of what this year means. And if you listen to our last episode, The Truth About the New Year, there's really these 3 different energetic portals that can represent the new year, and leaving the women feeling really clear and excited and inspired and lit up about what this year has in store for them. And so that is hands down one of my favorite events of the year. I think I've been able to lead this event for this group of women. Shout out to Kimberly. Hi, love. I know that you're listening, who puts this on every year and gives me the honor of leading her and her people. It really means the world. It's such an extraordinary group of women. This year I walked into the building about 20 minutes before we were going to start the actual workshop, bringing in some extra magazines and bringing in said roses. And as soon as I walked into the building, I felt really emotional, and that doesn't happen every year. And as soon as I felt it, there was this feeling in my chest and my energetic heart. And I felt like I was going to start crying. In fact, once I hugged Kimberly, the tears started to flow. And what I was feeling was just this overflow of love. All of these women coming together year after year. The love that Kimberly pours into these relationships and into this event, and how honored I feel to be a part of it. So gosh, it was so incredibly extraordinary. That is the cloud 9, I was going to say, which I'm coming off of. I'm not. I'm just going to stay on it for as long as possible. But this is the really sweet, tender place that I'm in right now, and I just wanted to bring you into that world. And again, we did a couple of side quests here. We talked about traveling at the beginning of the year. We talked about energetic peaks and valleys, and so many other really beautiful themes and concepts. And I hope that you're walking away today as you're listening right now. I hope there's a smile on your face. I'm hoping that this left some sort of sweet imprint on you. And before we officially wrap up, I promised that I would share some things that I'm loving right now, things that I'm loving in this season of life. So I'm a planner babe through and through. My favorite planner company is one called Plum Paper. It's spelled just like it sounds, plum, like the fruit. Plum Paper Planner. I love it because it is super customizable. I love the level of customization. It's like you can customize every aspect of this planner. I really like that. Some people might find the level of customization overwhelming, so you can just buy their standard planners as well, but they're beautiful. So I've not left my house without my plum paper planner since 2026 started, and that is the case for me every year. I think that this is my 10th consecutive year of buying the plum paper planner, and that's honestly saying a lot. I'm a little bit of like a paper planner, journal, notebook snob. It's probably not the nicest way to say it. I could say something like connoisseur, which that sounds fancier. I like that, but I am a little snobby. Like I'm really picky with not a lot of things, but very specific things. Stationery, planners, time management systems, that is at the very top of my kind of snobbish list. So if you're looking for recommendations around those things, you should come to me because I have a lot to say about them. And you may or may not like what I like or love what I love, but I can give you a lot of information about what I've found. And so I used and tried a lot of different paper planners before I found plum paper. And I've even purchased other ones from Amazon. I'll look at them. If I don't like them, I send them back. I don't know that that's like the nicest thing in the world, but hey, Amazon, if you don't want me sending things back, change your return policy, but please don't change your return policy because I really love it. But I love researching. I love learning. Part of that comes down, I know this, to my 1-3 profile lines in human design. I like to research. I like to know everything. I read every review. I look at every single picture. I buy a lot of things that are very similar as long as I can return them. And I will really be with each of those products when they arrive, when they're in my hand. And I like to look at quality and structure and all of the different factors. And so I do this with office supplies. I do this with clothes. I do this with health things. I did this with my vibration plate. I did this with my external mouse. I did this with my microphone that I'm on right now. I did this with my webcam. I did this with my laptop stand. I have multiple standing desks and I use them for different things. So I think I did this with my weighted vest. So if you are curious and you want any of those types of products, know that I have test driven many of them and I'm happy to share my insights. So I'm really loving my plum paper planner. I also purchased, I love Danielle Laporte. If you don't know her, check her out. I am going through, I think it's called the Open-Hearted or the Heart-Centered Planner. I had it last year. She's changed the name a little bit each year. I think last year it was the Heart-Centered Planner. And this year it might even just be the Centered Planner. Anyway, there's only one if you search Danielle Laporte Planner. So I use her planner very differently. I don't use it as strategically and logistically as I do my paper planner and my Google Calendar. Those two things are synced up. Literally, anytime I'm in my office, I have two computer screens. I have my main one where I do all my work from. And then I have a secondary screen where I like to be able to access things or see them quickly. So on my second screen, the thing that I have up 99% of the time is my Google Calendar. And that is to my right-hand side. And then down on my desk to my right is my planner. So I am very attuned to what I'm doing, what needs to get done, where I need to be, where my energy needs to be at all times because of those two things. So I ended up purchasing, it's not cheap. It was, I want to say between $70 and $80. I pre-ordered the Danielle Laporte planner, but I'm using more of that as like almost a daily journal, writing down different memories. I'm really wanting to do a better job of documenting the day-to-day things, not just being able to look back on this year at the big milestones or even the fun things in my camera roll, but from day to day, like capturing the sweet moments, capturing what's working, capturing what's not working so that I can make changes. So those are some systems and things that I'm loving right now. I'm also loving, I am not a body or formerly known as Beachbody, now Body, the health and fitness company. I am not an affiliate. I'm not a health coach of any kind, but I really love Beachbody workouts and programs. I used them in the past, and one of my clients who I love a ton actually is a body coach. I don't know if they're known as coaches, partners, or affiliates, or a different term. I really want to honor whatever that is. And so she's partnered with that company. On-demand workouts. It's over 100 and not 140 workouts, but 140 full-blown workout programs for less than $100. I think it was like $97 or $99. And I'm fired up. I'm fired up about having an entire year of all these programs. I am in the last few days of the first program that I'm participating in. So we're not even a month into the year and I'm already closing out one of them. And I purchased this right around Christmas time. So I technically started this at the end of December, but I'm sharing this with you because if you're wanting a really great workout program and you're wanting to access workouts, really awesome workouts of every kind you could ever possibly think of, I do it from my phone. It's also logged into my iPad and there's an app. And most TVs, I think these days, I don't know, like smart TVs, or even if you have like a special remote, we have an Amazon Fire Stick. And so I have the Body app on the TV in our living room. I like to work out in there. The TV in my bedroom, if I want to do I wouldn't do strength training up there because I'm not going to lug all my weights up there. But if I wanted to do Pilates or body weight or yoga, stretching, I could do that upstairs. And also we have a home gym. We don't have a TV in our home gym yet. We really want to deck out our home gym. Super cool. But I'll just bring my phone in there. And so I've been loving having access to all of those workouts for less than $100 for an entire year. Prior to that, I was using the Ladder app, Ladder, just on my phone. Those workouts were awesome, but it was like $29.99 a month. I was paying $30 a month for this app, which I didn't mind when I was using it consistently. Like I was doing 3 to 4 workouts, and they're great workouts every single week. But then if you're not really using it, I don't know about you, I don't want to be paying $30 a month for an app. Get out of here. So when my one client, her name is Vanessa, let me know if you don't know someone who is a body partner and you're interested in this deal. Find me on Instagram. I'll connect you with Vanessa. I know a lot of people know people who are connected to the brand. And so if you want those workouts and you have a buddy or a bestie who's woven into the company, then tap them on the shoulder, get that deal before it expires. If not, let me connect you with my girl Vanessa, because I'm so glad that I said yes to that. I'm so glad I saw her posts about that and honestly was able to help her with the marketing around her posts. I wasn't even thinking about getting it, but I was like, oh yeah, here's some ideas of like how you could market it. And then she was getting traction and I was seeing what she was doing and I was like, dude, I'm going to buy it. You got me with my own marketing suggestions. So I'm absolutely loving that. And the last thing, and I touched on this a little bit, I'm really loving the season of life that I'm in so many different ways. Personally, I'm really loving this season of motherhood. It's just so fun. My kids are the coolest people on the planet and I love hanging out with them and I want to spend as much time with them as humanly possible. There was something that I saw on Instagram yesterday that I reshared that I'm going to share here with you. The creator's name is Casey Huff. And here's what she said. And I have to say these words. They're her words, but they're coming from my heart too, because I just feel this. No one told me how sweet this middle season would be when our kids are no longer really little, but not yet teens. When they would understand our jokes, make the wittiest comments of their own, become the best conversationalists, start discovering their passions, and blow us away by the incredible people they're becoming. Sometimes an old picture pops up and my heart aches for a moment because, those younger versions were so precious. But this season we're in right now, the middle, it's my favorite one yet. And I'm going to try not to cry. But that's exactly how I feel about motherhood right now. I'm really loving this. And I'm feeling like in my own way, I'm in my own version of a middle season with myself. And I'm really enjoying it. I'm loving falling in love with this new version of me that is evolving. And I feel that about my business too. There's some big things happening. The last 2-ish years, there was a lot of heaviness and I didn't love a lot of it. I think I was trying to run away from it. I was trying to fix it. I was trying to escape it. And that's just not the case anymore. That's not the case in this moment. And I love that. I love that for me. And I'm sharing it with you because you might want to drink some of that in. You might be in your own version of that and know that we get to be there together. And I love that. And if you're not in a season of being able to really truly, genuinely love where you are, then my wish is that you're able this year to come to a place that feels really good and right and true and aligned for you, whatever that looks like, however you get there. And if that's something that you're wanting support with, please knock on my door, either literally or figuratively through social media. Reach out, let me know, because I cannot think of anything more fulfilling than to be able to help you find your own season of sweetness, your own season of truth and alignment. I'm so here for that. And there's so many different ways we can do that. So with that being said, I'm going to hop off now, sending you off into the world, into the rest of your day and your week with so much love. I can't wait to see you on the next one. As always, if you loved this, please take a few seconds, rate, review, share this with your people. If there was something specifically that I said today, screenshot this, share it on social media, get me tagged. I love knowing that you love these episodes, and we'll see you again on the next one.